In the middle of a sun-drenched cornfield in Malawi, a man named John Kamkwamba suddenly collapsed. His heart, worn from years of hard labor under the blistering sun, had finally given out. John was a humble farmer, a father, and the backbone of his family. The community gave him a traditional burial, with the rhythmic sounds of mourning blending into the winds that rustled the dried corn stalks. John left behind a wife and children, his oldest son, Jeremiah, and his younger son, Triwell Kamkwamba. Back home, Triwell's son, a bright and curious young boy named William, was tinkering with a broken radio. He loved electronics, often taking apart old gadgets just to see how they worked. That radio was more than a toy, it was their only link to weather forecasts, which meant everything to farmers like them. William had a sister named Annie, who dreamed of going to college. Their family hoped education would be the key to breaking free from the cycle of poverty. That same morning, William's father asked him to repair the leaking roof of their modest home. As William was working, he saw the radio's owner approaching. The man came to pick it up, but William admitted it was beyond repair. Still, his heart was in it, he tried. Later, William found a surprise waiting for him, a brand new school uniform laid out on his bed. It was his first day at secondary school. He beamed with excitement, ran out to show his parents, and dashed off to meet his best friend, Gilbert. Meanwhile, Triwell, William's father, was working hard at the market as a porter, lifting sacks and crates to earn money. His wife, Agnes, and daughter toiled away in the barn, storing harvested corn. Every day was a struggle, but they had one dream, that Annie would one day walk through the gates of a university. At school, a sudden downpour sent children running for shelter, but to the villagers, the rain was a blessing. Rain meant crops. It meant food. William's new teacher, Mr. Kachagunda, greeted the class. He taught science and served as William's homeroom teacher. After class, Mr. Kachagunda sent a note home, gently reminding William's parents to pay his school fees. That night, William sat on the floor, struggling to study by dim candlelight. His mother came in and asked him to help plant corn in the morning. Duty always came before dreams. Despite it all, William aced his exam. After school, he and Gilbert roamed the local junkyard, scavenging parts for his next invention. He found a used battery and got excited. It might help them with energy someday. But as they returned to Gilbert's house, they stumbled upon a heated town meeting. A foreign investor wanted to buy up their village's forest land. Gilbert's father, the village chief, resisted. He warned that cutting down trees would lead to devastating floods. But Jeremiah, William's older brother, stood up and agreed to the deal. He believed selling the land would bring quick money, and one by one, villagers followed his lead. Triwell was furious. He confronted Jeremiah, but the damage had already been done. The trees were sold. Chainsaws buzzed through the forest. William, walking near the woods, watched helplessly as the trees fell, one after another. Life became harder. With little food, William tried catching birds to sell. He built a trap, clever and handmade, hoping to earn just enough to buy small batteries. Later, he joined friends to listen to a soccer game on the radio. But just as the match reached a thrilling point, the radio died. No battery, no signal, no fun. Desperate, William ran through the rain back to his house, grabbed the battery he'd found, and returned to fix the radio. He even confronted his father, pleading to pay the school fees. That night, William overheard his parents whispering. His father confessed he couldn't afford to keep William in school. His heart sank. The next day, the school principal summoned all the students who hadn't paid fees. William was among them. They were dismissed until their debts were cleared. To make matters worse, the unseasonal rain destroyed the crops. Cornfields flooded. The harvest failed. Triwell and William visited a tobacco factory to meet Daniel, a former friend of John. They hoped he could help stop the logging. But Daniel told them bluntly farming here was doomed. Droughts and floods would only get worse. They needed to prepare for famine. Soon, William's school fees were the least of their worries. Crops wilted in dry soil. Their land cracked. Villagers complained to the chief, who tried to raise their voices to the government. But when the president visited for a campaign, the chief's brave speech criticizing the neglect of their village was met with violence. He was dragged backstage and beaten by the president's guards. As days passed, things got dire. Triwell had to sell the iron sheets from their roof, replacing them with straw, just to afford basic food. Market prices skyrocketed. The radio blared government denials of the crisis. All the while, families starved. Triwell joined a protest in the capital, desperate to push the government to recognize the famine. But riots broke out. People fought for food. Trywell returned home, shaken. Meanwhile, William never gave up. He secretly snuck back into school, borrowing books from Mr. Kachagunda to study energy. He learned about dynamos, devices that could generate electricity, and water pumps powered by wind. But when the school found out he hadn't paid, he was expelled again. Food riots broke out in their village. People looted warehouses. At one point, a desperate man stormed into their home and stole their only food. In another attack, their precious corn store was plundered. One night, William crept into his sister Annie's room. He begged her to get a dynamo from Mr. Kachagunda bicycle before she left with him for good. The next day, she was gone, but the dynamo was left behind. A glimmer of hope. William pleaded with his father to let him use his bicycle to build a windmill. Trywell refused. Crushed, William went back to work the fields with Gilbert, but the idea of harnessing wind energy never left his mind. Later that evening, his mother urged Trywell to listen to their son. He finally gave in. Trywell walked up to William, handed over his bicycle, and said, "Let's build it." With the help of Gilbert and a few friends, William designed a tall wooden windmill from salvaged junkyard scraps. He installed the dynamo and connected it to a water pump. The moment of truth arrived. The wind blew. The blades turned. And then, for the first time in months, water flowed. It gushed from the ground into the dry earth. Trywell hugged William, overwhelmed with pride. The windmill changed everything. Over time, the fields turned green. Cornstalks swayed in the breeze. The community began to heal. A young boy, armed with knowledge, scraps, and relentless determination, had brought life back to his village. The village chief passed away soon after, but not before witnessing hope reborn. And William Conquamba, once a boy told he didn't belong in school, gave his village a future they never imagined.